Welcome back to another episode of Lost in the Farmer's Market Garden Shorts. Today, along with the pointy stick of destiny here, we're looking at this specimen which is got a rosemary behind it. The scientific name for this plant is Agapanthus praecox, or the common name, common Agapanthus. It is in the Amaryllidaceae family, which means it's related to Amaryllis and a bunch of other things that you know and love. But that interesting name, Agapanthus, well, it actually comes from two Greek words, and I may be mispronouncing this, but agape and anthos, which means love and flower, respectively. Or love flower, which, I mean, with these lovely lilac blossoms, I could kind of see that. It is native to southern Africa. However, it is naturalized outside of its range in other parts of Africa. It is hardy at USDA zones 8 through 10, and it is classified as a perennial. It can withstand temperatures up to minus 15 below. However, I wouldn't push your luck on that. We sometimes get a dip of 20 around these parts, 20 degrees, not below. So it's more than well suited to handle what North Carolina can throw at it. Now, it prefers a soil pH of 5.5 to 7.5, but it's not too picky on the soil type as long as it's not a swamp. And there's more on that later. Its exposure is full sun, which I moved it from its prior position. It's in a pot. It was in a spot in the backyard. It was getting overgrown, so I had to give it some help and transplant it, which also, more on that later. Its height can be up to 3 meters, but that's including these long flower stalks, which can reach 3 meters. The foliage might be about half of that or a third of that, maybe. This specimen is easily pushing more than half that. Pushing a foot and some change. So, it's bushy. Oh yeah. Now this is an individual plant. This is actually several plants clustered together, but individual plants can get a height of up to 2-ish feet. A cluster of them, some of them will be on the sides, they'll be a little shorter. There's the one in the center that's taller. You get the idea. Now other names for this plant are blue lily, African lily, or the one I know it as, lily of the Nile, which sounds really poetic. And it sounds like those kids next door getting murdered. They're not, I promise. Those darn kids. Da, 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 da. Anyway, so, and the neighbor dog's losing his mind. It's great. Anyway, as I was saying, I was interrupted by neighbor dog. It does not mind poor soil at all. Really. Seriously. I mean, it'll need extra water, but it doesn't really care if the soil's crap. As long as it's not a swamp and it's not constantly wet. It really doesn't like being transplanted. So these were transplanted a year ago, and it's taken them a year for them to really recover and catch up. It does not mind partial sun, but it does better in full sun. I had it in partial sun to help it recover, and as you can see, it's come back. This is the first year my specimen has bloomed. So that's saying something, because in prior years, it just sort of sat there. And I was like, I spent money on this for what? Oy vey. Anyway. Now, it may have problems with slugs and snails. However, you can apply wood ash to drive them away. Apparently they hate that. I put out beer traps and just watched the liquor genocide happen. Yes. In case you're wondering what that is, that's a small 4-inch plastic tray like you put under a plant, like a plant saucer. And you fill it full of rot-gut cheap beer that you buy at like a gas station or something. They pile in like little addicts, and I don't know if they drink themselves to death or drown or the alcohol gets them, but slug genocide. Snails pile in, pill bugs pile in, everything loves the liquor. It's a dang natural shame. Anyway, my last point, and I have to tell y'all this, is that lily of the Nile is poisonous. All parts of it. Every single little bit. Don't let the kids chew on it. Don't let the pets chew on it. The only thing that seems to be unaffected is slugs and snails and their mollusks, and yeah, F them. Anyway, so that's all I have for you on Agapanthus. But there'll be more coming, so stay tuned. If you like this video, please hit the like, please subscribe. Consequently, if you look in the description, you'll see that there is a blog attached to all of this. You scroll through all the brief of what I'm going to say, give or take, and at the bottom there's a link to my blog, and you can see the weekly weed forage stuff that I'm doing. So you can see, what I'm talking about, weeds you can eat. with all that said, thank you for watching, and keep them growing, folks.